In this video, we'll be looking at both of the new Apple Watches, the Apple Watch SE and the Apple Watch Series 6, and hopefully you'll be able to decide which one is right for you. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and click the notification bell to get my next video first. So Apple have recently launched both the Apple Watch SE and the Apple Watch Series 6. Now, this might be a little bit confusing to some people as to which one of these to buy because there are significant differences, but also in some ways they are very, very similar. So we thought that we would do this video and hopefully help you out to decide which one is right for you. Now, this will really come down to 1, the budget that you have, and 2, the features that you use, because ultimately this is an Apple Watch, and surprise, surprise folks, both of these tell the time. Now, there is actually a third watch that you can buy from Apple, because as well as the new Series 6 and SE, you can actually still buy the Series 3. And that means from just $199 you can pick up an Apple Watch, which is incredibly good value. Now, for the Series SE, it will start from £269 or $279, and for the Series 6, it will start from £379 or $399. And obviously, if you wish, you can configure this up to an extortionate amount depending on which version you go for. So we've purchased the Series 6 and the Series SE. We purchased the base model of both of these, and we purchased the 40mm on the SE and the 44mm on the Series 6. So let's see how those compare. So when it comes to unboxing these products, you're going to notice little difference between the SE and the Series 6. In fact, the physical differences between these and the previous versions, the Series 5, is almost non-existent. There are some technical things which are different, which we'll come on to a little bit later, but this still looks like an incredibly premium product. Now, when it came to the unboxing of the Series 6 version, there was just one subtle difference. The outer packaging is identical, you unwrap it and you get the colourful watches being on display, and then you get the two boxes inside, one holding the actual watch face itself and the other holding the strap. Now, that subtle difference between the two is just the watch face is in a more protective coating. So you actually get almost like a little shield thing for it, and there is a little film over the front of the display, which wasn't on the SE. Another thing to point out and bear in mind, folks, is that Apple have done away with the actual plug that plugs into your power outlet. They have included a USB charger, but not the actual plug itself. Now, the setup process for both of these watches is identical, and it's the same as previous versions of Apple Watch. So I'm not going to bore you with that process in this video. Now, what I did notice comparing these two is that there is no noticeable difference between lag and any more performance or enhanced performance on the Series 6. I found that the SE was just as responsive and just as quick for every single function that I tried. So in terms of whether you're getting the inferior product or not, well, if you're not going to be using some functions which I'm going to come on to in a second, this is a brilliant, brilliant purchase. Now, at the end of this video, I will put some more screenshots up which will show you the differences between all three of the different models, not just the Apple Watch Series 6 and SE, which we are showing you here, but also the Series 3, which you can still purchase from Apple. Now, what I would say is my first impressions are that the Apple Watch SE, I just think it's a great purchase. I'm not noticing any real negatives in terms of its function, in terms of its speed of operation. I talked about the lagging and things like that. It really does feel just as good as the Series 6 version. Now, we do know that there's going to be some things that it's not got, and I'm going to come on to those in just a second. Both of these watches have the same Retina display, although the Apple Watch Series 6 has the always-on display, so you don't have to lift your arm to wake it. You can read it from any angle. And that is actually one of the reasons why I upgraded from this Series 4. The majority of applications are identical on both watches. One thing that you will notice a slight difference on, for instance in workout, is that not only will it measure distance, calories and things like both watches do, but the Apple Watch Series 6 will also measure elevation. So if that's important to you, then you may want to give that a consideration. Now, obviously, there are some things which are missing on the SE. One of those is the ECG app, and so that, again, if that's important to you, monitoring heart rhythm, then that is something to consider, as is the blood O2 levels, which is one of the new features on the Series 6 that hasn't been on the previous versions. But you'd still get things like heart rate monitoring on both watches. Okay, so now let's take a look at some of these head-to-head differences between the watches. The Series 6 and the SE both are the larger 40mm or 44mm case size, whereas the Series 3 slightly smaller 38 or 42. The Series 6 and the Series SE have the same Retina display. That is 30% larger than the Series 3, which is still a Retina display, but it's a bit smaller, and the Series 6 is the always-on version, as I mentioned earlier. All three of these watches are water resistant and swimproof to up to 50 meters. You'll see more safety and emergency features on the SE and the Series 6, and the Series 6 and SE are both the same with this. They have emergency SOS, international emergency calling, fall detection and also noise monitoring, whereas on the Series 3 you're just getting the emergency SOS. So one of the features that Apple spent a lot of time talking about was family setup. They did a really good job of demonstrating that. Now you won't get that on the Series 3. And also you will not get a compass feature which you do on the SE and Series 6. And likewise, whereas on the newer models you get the always-on altimeter, you don't on the Series 3. Now we mentioned and showed you those applications that you don't get on the SE, and you obviously therefore don't get them on the Series 3, but you still get that heart rate monitoring. Now the Series 6 does also feature the newer dual-core S6 processor, but as my test showed earlier and my demo, and certainly by using both watches, I really have not noticed that much difference in terms of the operation. Maybe that will change over time, I don't know. But other than that, you can see this long list here where everything is very similar on both the Series 6 and the Series SE, but obviously with the Series 3 you're getting a far more basic version. Now a consideration for you is future-proofing, and that's another reason why you may want to look towards the Series 6, because that has the faster chip and it also has the more sensors. And although Apple are only using those at the moment for the blood oxygen app and also the ECG app, it may be that either Apple or third-party developers release other things that take advantage of those sensors. So that's just a consideration, but obviously it is just speculation at the moment. Now, one final big difference between the three models are the colours and finishes that are available that they come in. So with the 6 you get it in aluminium, stainless steel and titanium, whereas the SE only comes in aluminium, as does the Series 3. And also colours, you only get the Series 3 in 2 colours, the SE in 3 colours, and you get the wider choice in the Series 6. So if colour is important to you, another reason to push towards the newer models. So my friends, in summary, I'm absolutely delighted with the upgrades in the Apple Watches. I think the Apple Watch SE, if you're not going to be using those extra applications that the Apple Watch Series 6 does, then that is an absolute bargain at its starting point. I probably wouldn't go for the basic one unless budget was really important to you, but definitely the SE is probably my favourite new Apple Watch of 2020. Guys, I do hope that this video has been helpful for you. If it has, give it a like and also subscribe because we've got plenty more coming shortly. Thanks so much for watching this video, my friends.